Welcome to Lifestyle with D, where we discuss matters health. Today we'll be talking about key factors that ruin relationships and how you can improve them. Of course, if you want to be healthy, part of something that you should have is a good relationship. And to tell us more about this is counselor and psychologist and sexologist, Piet. So we're so glad to have you today.
Thank you.
Yeah. If you have any feedback or questions, you can kindly send them on our SMS line 20058 or my Twitter handle @DDMyers. Thank you so much for coming. We're so glad we can talk about something new today, relationships, and we're so eager to know how we can improve our relationships. And probably the first question would be, before we even get into the topic, you can tell us what you do exactly as a counselor, psychologist, and sexologist.
Let me introduce myself.
Yes.
I was born in the Netherlands, in The Hague, so everybody in Kenya knows my hometown.
Yeah.
It's rather famous.
Yes.
Then I moved to Switzerland, which is the total opposite. Holland is flat like a chapati.
Wow.
Switzerland has 280 mountains over 3,000 meters, so it's a different world. And now since 2005 I live in Nairobi.
Wow.
My country of choice, so I'm Dutch by birth, Swiss by passport, and Kenyan by heart.
Wow.
I do counseling since more than 30 years. And here in Kenya also the additional job as a sexologist.
Yeah.
Because it's still a taboo
Okay.
and we need to talk about it.
Yes.
And it's part of relationships, so
Many
we are
people
together.
may not understand what a sexologist is.
Okay, I can translate that into
Yeah.
an intimacy expert.
Okay, great. So anything intimate, we can consult you.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Relationships. Key factors that ruin relationships. When two people meet, how long should I date this person before I know he or she is the one?
To find out if he is the one, it's already there in the first dating.
Yeah.
You have a cup of coffee together, like we now, and you find out, is there anything which makes click in my mind?
Yeah.
We men are visuals.
Yes.
We look at the outer forms, the curves.
Yeah.
Ladies have quite other desires.
Oh yeah.
Inner values, security,
Yes.
trustworthy, stable, also financial stable. So we have totally different expectations. And from that first dating, you should find out, am I willing to come for a second date or have to press the reset button and say, I stand up, that's it. I wish you luck in your search for the right girl because I'm not the one.
Yes.
And then you go.
Yeah.
So don't take a lot of time to find out, but the rest you find out with time.
Yeah.
For instance, you don't ask in the first dating about his bank account or whether he has a child with another woman. Those are things you don't ask in the first date, but you would like to know. So all those things take time.
Okay.
So for me, I think a dating period should not go longer than 6 months. When within that time you should have an increasing knowledge of the person and about if there is harmony and chemistry between the two of you.
Yeah.
Find out, take time, ask questions.
Yes. But you hear there's some people who stay for like 3 months and they're engaged, and in the 6th month they're getting married. Is there possibilities such as those? Are those people who click much quicker than other people? Or
Yes.
you find other people who take 7 years dating and nothing has happened?
Well, the one with 7 years, let me talk about that one. I think the guy is not proposing
Yeah.
and he will never.
He will never.
So you should have jumped out earlier because you're losing your time.
Yeah.
7 years is ridiculous. But the other opposite is getting engaged after 3 months and then married after 6. I believe in love at first sight.
At first
It's
sight?
yes, it's a marvelous feeling,
Really?
but it's not a guarantee.
Okay.
When I joke about it, I'll tell people love is like a Chinese mobile. No guarantee.
Oh my goodness.
It's a bit tough.
Yeah.
It's possible when two people are really ready to get married
Yeah.
and they find the right person, and it over those 3 months
Yes.
you feel so absolutely sure. Do it, try it.
Yeah. So, okay. People are different anyway.
Definitely.
Yeah. So, what are the common mistakes that women do when they are looking for the one? Yeah.
Let me tell you the first truth. Mr. Right, the one I know, went back to his father. Meaning, the
Yeah.
rest of us men are Mr. Almost Right.
Almost right. Yeah.
And
There's
that's
no
the
such
problem.
thing. Yeah.
You can meet a man or a woman and you think 80% of this person is absolutely breathtaking. Knocks me out of my shoes or something like that. But then you realize there is 20% which you can't accept.
Yeah.
And then the ladies make the mistake, they will try to change that person. Now that's a job which never works.
Yeah.
The guy is already 25 or 30 and you're going to change him? The things he didn't learn when he was a child or
It's gonna
a
be
teenager,
tough.
it's
Yes.
impossible. He will
Yeah.
not change. So the only solution is don't start the work of trying to change him.
Yeah.
Try to swallow or accept the 20% and enjoy to the maximum the 80% which are for you absolutely top.
But there's that argument that I can change him. Like I can change some of the things he does, some of his
Yes,
habits.
you can be awfully upset. You're married and every time when he changes clothes, he throws them all around the room.
Yeah.
And you would like him to drop them in the basket. Now that you might be able to change.
Yeah.
Those little things. But let me be honest, if you break up with that person, he will be the same as before.
back, yeah.
The changes are not real.
True.
And most of the changes men make is because they want something special from you, which is the three-letter word.
Sex.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. All right. So let's talk about insecurities. You find, especially women, and it's even worse when a guy is insecure because the woman has to deal with all that. Women are insecure. You find the one to, take your phone, look at your messages, all that. Your Facebook passwords, your passwords. Basically, they want them.
If you want to destroy your relationship, do those stupid things.
Yeah.
My phone is password protected several times because what I get as a sexologist is highly confidential.
Yes.
And my wife has never touched my phone.
Wow.
And I don't touch hers.
Okay.
Those things are for me not holy, but private.
Yeah.
The insecurity of the side of the women is something which is innate. You ladies are always insecure. Even on the day of the wedding, when he stands in front of you, nicely dressed and you in white, and he says, I do,
Yeah.
you think, does he really? So this insecurity is always there and you cannot eliminate it. As a man, you have to know it
Yeah.
and then deal with it by sending unexpected, sweet SMSs during the day or a short phone call. Hey, I miss you. Or an SMS in the style, I look forward to see you tonight.
Yeah. Okay.
Constantly reassuring her, you are the one for her.
Yeah, because I can imagine if you guys are visual, and there's so much reason for us to be insecure because whatever you see, some men behave like whatever they say is just, I can
An
hit
object
that. Yeah.
of, yes,
So, and it wouldn't mean anything. It will just be physical,
yes,
but still we are insecure.
of course. It's true. We men are visuals and we see the whole day. So we are always in danger.
Yeah. You're always in danger.
True. But that's how we are made.
Yeah.
This is how God created us.
Yes.
We are visuals.
How about guys who are insecure?
Well, I don't think it's so much insecurity. It's more the hit and run mentality and the inner feeling of I can't risk to connect to this girl for the rest of my life. I have to find out who else is available. So the hunting aspect is very strong in men. And it doesn't stop when you get married. The hunting drive is there.
when you find a guy, he has a very hot, well, very beautiful lady, if I may say, and all these guys are, she has so much attention from other guys. Is that reason for him to be insecure?
Yes, definitely. There are certain things in our life, like for instance, paying dowry. Some men combine that to the thought, I bought her, she is mine, property thinking. So when anybody else tries to touch that property or come close to it, it's a danger for the man.
Yeah.
And they might react furious, even start fighting without a reason, because she's not looking at those guys,
Yeah.
but the guys are looking at her. That happens all the time.
Wow. Okay. Now in relationships, there's communication. If you lack communication or even communicate in the wrong way, how should people deal? Why is communication so important between two people? Because you can let us know, since you have dealt with such issues and you know what people always complain about. Yeah.
That's what we're doing at the moment. We
Yeah.
communicate, we talk about the subject. For some people, it's difficult to communicate.
Yeah.
They are introverts, they are closed, they process things in their minds and they don't speak about it. And the other one is just guessing, what is he or she thinking? So what starts then is something quite dangerous, and it can ruin your relationship again.
Yeah.
It's mind reading. You think you can read what the other person is thinking,
Yeah.
and you can't. So it's a dangerous aspect. You better talk.
Yes.
But even in the subject of sexuality, most cases, what I know, nobody talks before it happens, or during, or afterwards. So there's no communication at all, meaning what you're doing becomes a routine. Always the same style, always the same things you do.
Yeah.
It becomes boring, and that ruins a relationship. For me, instantly, I think dating should continue after getting married.
Yeah.
Opening the door of the car. Do you remember that ad on television? When he comes into the room, getting ready to meet her, she comes down the stairs. I'm sure you know it.
Yeah,
And then what? He goes out and sits in his Mercedes, and she has to open the door herself.
Yeah.
Hey, where are the gentlemen? I open the door of the car all the time.
I think African men argue this is not our culture.
They don't see it from their dads. So where do you learn it? It's not a subject in school.
Yes.
So copied behavior would be nice.
Yeah.
When you see somebody, I have a teacher. He came for counseling and he said, yes, I buy flowers for my wife, but I put them in the black paper so that nobody sees it.
Wow.
He was ashamed to walk over the street with flowers for his wife. Sorry, then I can't help you.
By the way, that influence of other people, like what is this guy going to think of me doing this for my girlfriend? There's this thing of
You should be proud. You should be proud to walk with flowers.
I know. People don't even hold hands anymore.
Well, that's something I realized here.
Yeah.
I'm Dutch by birth. For us, it's normal even to kiss on the pedestrian crossing
Yeah.
in the middle of the road.
Here people look
Don't
at you like,
try it here.
Are you crazy?
Public display of affection, that's
Yes.
it's forbidden, seems to.
Well, but now it is for more.
It's slowly coming.
Slowly.
And it's not westernizing, it's just the desires we both have. Holding hand, being together, feeling each other. It's important.
Yeah. Is there anything like communicating in the wrong way?
Yeah.
For example? Yeah.
Yeah.
before we can
Yeah.
talk about that.
Imagine you're married and you come home and she asks you, how was your day? And that comes every day. Is there a must to do something like that? Why don't you ask him, what made you laugh today?
Yeah.
Or what was new for you today?
Yeah.
Instead of the same standard question. That is wrong communication.
Yes.
And the other one, wrong communication is, and it's dangerous, it shows you already there's fire in the relationship.
Yeah.
We need time to talk.
Yeah. We need to talk. It gets
And she
complicated.
translates that, he's going to get rid of me.
But guys get like when they hear that from a woman. They take it.
They also take it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
It goes in the wrong pipe.
All right, this is Lifestyle with you. We'll be taking a short break, but when we come back, we'll still be talking about relationships, how you can improve them. So if you have any feedback or questions, you can send them on our SMS line 20058. We'll be right back. We're talking about key factors that ruin relationships and how you can improve your relationship today. And we're joined by a counselor and psychologist and a sexologist, Piet. So, we're
Thanks,
talking
Diana.
about communication.
Yes.
Should there be boundaries in communication? By the way, especially when you're meeting someone, is there a limit of what you can tell them before you start telling them everything about yourself? Is there some boundaries you should put?
Well, I am a talkative person, so I might talk too much. But there are certain things you don't ask or talk about when you're in the beginning stage of a dating relationship. Everybody has a history,
Yeah.
which means there might be former ex-girlfriends or boyfriends in your life. Connected to that, you're not married to one of them, so you have made up your mind and you made decisions like this is not the one I would like to live with for the rest of my life.
Yes.
Meaning you have already a full basket of experiences with the other gender. And that should not be a subject to start drilling into your history.
Yeah.
Because at the moment you want to know and to get to know each other.
Yeah.
And you want to plan something which is future oriented. So keep your hands away from the history.
Yeah.
It's not helpful.
So how do you respond to a guy who wants to know how many people you've been with, or
Slept with.
yeah,
Oh, sorry.
or a lady who wants to know how many ladies you have slept with?
Yes.
How do you respond to that? I mean, it's too soon to
Well,
ask
the direct
you.
answer is it's not your business.
Yeah.
It's the past of my life. Yesterday is gone. We are talking about today. And perhaps we have a future.
That's a
I think that's the direct answer because
Yeah.
it's ridiculous to do that. I know from a guy who did that. They were in a long-term relationship and suddenly don't know from where it came. He started to ask, tell me, how old were you when you were kissed for the first time?
Shit.
And his next question was, did you ever had sex in public?
What?
And then he came up with the last question, how many men have you slept with?
My goodness.
And she stepped out of the relationship. It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's not your business. Everybody has a history.
Yeah.
And in counseling, I deal with people when they start to talk about history. But you're not counseling each other. This is a dating relationship which is
yeah.
future oriented. Sorry,
True.
make a difference there.
Yeah. All right. So when you're dating, am I allowed to be myself?
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
No, I say that honestly because some girls
Yeah.
become so connected to the guy that you have seen on television babies being born and they're both together.
Yes.
They're not separate, they're both
Same,
together.
yeah.
And some couples act like that. Hip to hip. Never alone, always together, always in a
Yeah.
package, a dual package. And then they define themselves like, I am Susan's boyfriend,
You don't have a
or
identity.
I'm David's wife.
Yeah.
Where's your identity?
You even change your name and miss it, someone.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, don't do that.
Yeah.
Try to be yourself. It needs, in a very close and long-term relationship, it needs space.
Yeah.
And that's many times very difficult to understand because if he is an extrovert and she is the opposite, an introvert, they have different desires for space. But both need it. She might be happy to sit on the sofa and watch a movie or a soap without him interfering and switching to football. Yeah? And he might go out and goes for a match and shouts 2.5 hours.
Yes.
They're different, but they both need space to be yourself.
So that means when we're dating, am I allowed to have like my? I mean, you don't have to always be with me. I mean,
Yes.
I'm allowed to spend time by myself,
Girls' evening,
even when we live together.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. When that is not allowed, I already described this relationship as toxic.
Okay.
Because then he is commanding you with whom you can be, how long you can be out of the house.
Yeah.
He's starting yelling and screaming and perhaps even beating, whatever. I've never beaten a woman in my whole life. It's undiscussable. But some men do those things.
Yeah,
And I think when you realize those toxic elements in your relationship, for heaven's sake, step out.
Yeah.
There is no solution for a man who behaves aggressive in this way.
Yeah.
It gets worse.
It gets worse.
Yes.
Yeah, we keep telling
It
you
might
that.
at the end kill you.
Yeah.
And there are cases like that.
Yeah.
Step out. Save your life for a better period. There must be another. Anyway, there are enough other fish in the ocean.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
they are. So violence. I don't even know if we should talk about violence, but someone asked me to ask you if, in that case of being yourself, can you even do silly things in front of your boyfriend, like fight? Like, do they? Is it allowed? That's a question from someone. Yeah. So you can
It takes time till you have that freedom to do those
Yeah.
silly things.
Okay.
But if you live together in the same house, it might happen. And you don't have to excuse yourself. Because the things you mentioned are rather natural.
Yeah.
You don't do it because you like to make music or... no. But doing silly things, yes. Why not remain young in your heart?
Yeah.
You're getting older every day. But don't go with that process.
Yes.
I try to be younger, much younger than I am. I
Oh,
reduced
yeah.
about 20 years backwards.
Okay.
And I live like that. And I love it.
Yeah.
And once in a while I do silly things.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, about living together, would you recommend for people who are not married to live together? I know there's that thing of come we stay. That's how many people nowadays are ending up getting married. We started with staying together, and then we just ended up being together. That's how we are married, and we have a kid now. Yeah.
Let me first talk about the legal aspects.
Yes.
According to the new constitution,
Yeah.
when you're together for about 6 months, legally you're already married. I hope men will realize that,
Yes.
because some of them don't know. It has financial advantages because you don't pay 2 rents. But there is a certain danger in it that this come and stay with me will not end up in marriage.
Yeah.
It can becoming something like a business association.
Wow.
He goes to work, she goes to work, they come home. At the end, you only share the fridge.
Very sad.
Yeah, that's even for married couples the case.
Yes. Yeah.
I know about those cases. Sleeping in different rooms. It doesn't give you, for the girls, it doesn't give you a guarantee that come and stay will mean he will stay with you for the rest of your life and end up in marriage.
Yeah.
Some guys are allergic to the word marriage.
Ooh, yes, by the way. That
And some of
commitment.
them, even after then producing the child, the hit and run types are very, very many.
Wow.
I hear many cases in counseling for girls who don't have a husband. And they don't realize, they think I'm managing it. But by the way, the statistics tells you that in Kenya prisons,
Yeah.
the men who are there, many of them, more than 80%, come out of single parenthoods, only a mother. Never seen a man in their life, no example of masculinity,
Yeah.
no teaching what is right and wrong for a man. And a lady can't do it, you're feminine.
Yeah.
So don't go for that way.
Wow. Okay. We want to talk about more of this, yeah? But because of time, we have to wrap up the show. But we will continue this next Friday. There will still be another episode on relationships. So kindly stay tuned to next week's episode of Lifestyle with D. Will still be with Piet. He'll be telling us more about relationships, how you can improve them. So kindly send your questions as well so that we can ask them by the time it's Friday. So thank you for staying tuned. Do have a lovely evening.